Welcome back to the techno-communism conversation. I was uh, uh, thinking about some hate mail that I got um, the other day. Um, I I got a friend request on the social media site from somebody who is a shit poster. I don't generally go out of my way to like just lash out at shit posters, but this person, let's just say his name is Christopher. That's not his name. Christopher is somebody who seems to live outside of the United States, professes to be a communist, and yet still routinely supports imperialist pig Bernie Sanders, at least in some way, by saying that he loves him or something. And so this, in conjunction with being a kind of misogynistic shit poster, which is a crime, right? It's also a crime that I've been guilty of. It was reason for me to tell him to fuck off and don't friend request me and block him. Which maybe, I shouldn't have handled it this way. He kind of reminds me of somebody that I've known my whole life that I don't really like. So maybe it's just responding to the fact that this guy seems like a dickhead to me, even though he might not be that big of a dickhead. But then I was thinking about this AI agentic class project, and I'm going to look at this from a different angle in just a second. This AI agentic class project, and what motivating me to want to work on this, begin to work on this, to write about this, to speak about this. That is this hard AI takeoff that's occurring, and how to navigate that hard AI takeoff in such a way that it doesn't cause a tremendous amount of death, which seems to me a most likely scenario, actually. But that's not because of advanced computing itself. As I said many times, this advanced computing takeoff could have occurred in the 80s or 90s, were it not for the forces of reaction, most notably the U.S. and North Atlantic fascist powers. It would have, I don't think it's a coincidence that people in the early to mid 20th century imagined the year 2000 over and over again as a point where something along these lines would occur, because that's what would have happened were it not for basically the United States military-industrial complex. So the thing that inspires me to work on this, aside from the exigency of it, is thinking about people I've known, like this person that this guy whose name is not Christopher reminds me of. Or let's say you were a big enough fucking idiot in this world to not only engage with the idea of the bourgeois institution known as marriage, but to do this with a broke fucking nerd like Ben Zion. Let's imagine that you're my spouse, and in the course of our marriage, you and I have had problems, right? Because I'm an asshole, and probably 100 times I've thought, man, I can't deal with this anymore. I'm gonna just fucking. It's a good thing I don't have a gun, right? This is why I don't date anymore. But not really the reason. But so even though there are people like this in my life that I've thought this about, not really acted on in most cases, but then there's the reality, the larger reality, that over here, just visible at the edge of the horizon, with this hard AI takeoff that's happening in the next 5 to 10 years is a new Jerusalem that you and I can build. And yeah, maybe this fat fuck that I knew who reminds me of not Christopher, or people who I tried to be friends with or even romantic with and didn't work out. Yeah, sure, we've all had our differences, but at the end of the day, I'd like to do whatever I can, see even people that irritated me mildly get to that new Jerusalem. And I had some better notes on this about more along the lines of a homily, consistent with a little AI takeoff speech poem that I usually recite. But I'm not going to get into it. I'm going to keep this short because I have a little bit of a headache. The tightrope walk, navigating AI development between societal dreams and Luddite nightmares. The relentless march of advanced computing promises a future brimming with possibilities, from optimizing resource allocation to unlocking collective human intellect. Advanced computing in our time has the potential to reshape our world for the better, as I said, even so in shocking ways in the next 5 to 10 years in the pretty hard AI takeoff that I believe is occurring. This transformative journey necessitates a so-called tightrope walk, ensuring that advanced computing development remains aligned with societal values and aspirations and expectations of behavior and resource allocation, to avoid triggering things along the lines of a global techno-Luddite backlash. And so this conversation explores this potential problem through one lens, contrasting the AI agentic class project that I've described many times in this channel, and I would suggest you go back to listen to some of that, with the so-called proxy hive mind, with a more equally realistic, but not quite so fully realized true hive mind, by using things like Neuralink brain-computer interfaces, most famously, unfortunately, associated with the Neuralink company, owned by Arkham Asylum villain Elon Musk. And this true hive mind collective and the proxy hive mind collective, often discussed as a proposed AI agentic class for today, have vastly different implications for socio-political exchange and societal harmony, as is the premise of this conversation. The looming shadow of unintended consequences and the rapid pace of advanced computing development is indeed shocking and is exhilarating, yet it carries this alluded to potential undercurrent of real disunion, chaos, and harm, separate from the thing that I've talked about most in this context, which is techno-fascism, killing the planet by this accelerationism rather than doing even the bare minimum to save it. But on this subject of societal harmony, history is littered with examples of technological advancements that were incredibly promising, yet in their handling yielded unanticipated socio-political consequences. The Industrial Revolution's transformative impact itself came at a cost of a tremendous environmental degradation in centuries past and today, and social upheaval that is often forgotten. Similarly, advanced computing of the kind of the hard AI takeoff, if not carefully guided, has a potential to exacerbate existing inequalities, eroding basic liberties, and even triggering existential threats that have not been fully anticipated. And a key to navigating this precarious landscape lies in ensuring that advanced computing development prioritizes the values and aspirations we hold dear. This includes principles of fairness, transparency, accountability, and human well-being. Only when advanced computing aligns with this ethical framework can become a true catalyst for a better future. And so the most discussed AI agentic class project, the present day LLM open source specialized download that can be run on a machine in the course of 2024 by a number of people working together in this workforce multiplier that I've described, embodies the concepts of, I believe, a necessary decentralized network of AI agents collaborating to optimize decision making and resource allocation. And you can imagine this as a larger array of LLMs working in tandem, and thus leveraging the strength of this proxy hive mind collective to solve dramatically more complex problems. This collective intelligence in 2025 could revolutionize areas relating to material conditions for all the peoples of Earth, climate change mitigation, disaster response coordination, and even the beginnings of a technological planned economy. That is why I say that we should build this, we should work together to build this superintelligence network now. Please, even if I've called you a fat fuck or something, you can still, if you're genuinely interested in working on something like this, you can email me, and I would happily set aside any ideological or past differences in service to the genuine building of such a thing. This AI agentic proxy hive mind has several advantages. Its centralized nature fosters resilience and adaptability, as I mentioned in many shows in the past. The CyberSyn project was a technological planned economy of a more centralized kind. In Allende's Chile, it was destroyed by the forces of the fascist United States, and so we need to build this thing from this more anarcho-syndicalist envisioning, so that a single point of failure won't cripple the entire system. For example, Ben Zion being a fucking idiot who calls people names. Additionally, the collective learning capabilities of this proxy hive mind could lead to unprecedented levels of innovation by cross-pollinating ideas and insights across the network. The proxy hive mind will accelerate breakthroughs in fields ranging from medicine to material science and all points in between. Perhaps most importantly, the proxy hive mind aligns with societal aspirations for collaborating and progress without shocking them, as the true hive mind would. By optimizing resource allocation and fostering collective problem solving, it directly contributes to the betterment of society. So transparency in the proxy hive mind's decision-making process would further strengthen this alignment, fostering public trust and enabling oversight mechanisms. Let's contrast that now with the true hive mind. In stark contrast to the proxy hive mind, the brain-computer interface telepathy mediated hive mind collective presents a more centralized approach within this decentral framework. And Neuralink technology is a device that exists in prototype form, but not fully realized enough to be of real use in this. But nevertheless, brain-computer interfaces of greater strength, whether they derive from microsurgery or not, would be able to facilitate technologically mediated telepathy, and this would create a network where individuals can share thoughts and experiences directly. This interconnectedness offers alluring possibilities, dramatically enhanced communication, collaboration, and access to the collective wisdom of humanity could foster unparalleled social and scientific progress. However, the potential benefits of the hive mind collective come with significant caveats. The very notion of unfettered access to others' thoughts raises profound concerns about individual privacy and autonomy. Could such a system lead to societal homogenization, stifling the very diversity of thought that fuels innovation? Furthermore, a centralized hive mind could become a breeding ground for manipulation and control, with those wielding the reins potentially dictating the collective consciousness. I feel that, like the proxy hive mind, the true hive minds at scale more or less becomes idiot-proof. So the major problem between the two, the more significant problem between the proxy hive mind and the hive mind, is that people really hate the hive mind. They're disgusted by it in the way that they're disgusted by the Ben Zion burger. So it's better to maybe focus on the proxy hive mind. The prospect of the hive mind collective, as stated less directly a moment ago, could trigger a global techno-Luddite backlash, a resurgence of fear and distrust toward brain-computer interfaces or advanced computing more generally. This reaction, while understandable, might be detrimental in this context, not in the context of the aforementioned techno-fascism, in my view. The answer lies not in rejecting advanced computing altogether, but in shaping its development to align with scientific socialist and values and the values of the larger world. Mitigating potential backlashes from advanced computing development shouldn't focus solely on reactionary measures. A more transformative approach is necessary. We need revolutionary technologies that go beyond simply mitigating risks. They should actively promote alignment with genuine societal values, which are the societal values of the scientific socialist. And those values are, well, can easily be explained to people. I've described the proxy hive mind to people in a apolitical context, just as a workforce multiplier that then transforms society, basically. And a little more words than that, but avoiding the ideas like scientific socialism and insurrection and anarcho-syndicalism. And when I describe it to the people in those terms, they understand it easily. That's not a significant departure from the ideas of scientific socialism. It's rather giving people a little bite of something that, rather than force-feeding them something that they're not ready to eat. One key step involves a proactive approach back to the to advanced computing development, and engaging diverse stakeholders in professions, in the public, in the social and hard sciences, in the design and deployment of this particular kind of advanced computing system, will be a good way to, at this time, begin to foster a sense of ownership and build a public trust in this thing that would be the technologically mediated telepathy, or similarly jarring advanced computing paradigms. That is why, even though I ever described Elon Musk as someone who should absolutely be in Arkham Asylum, I believe that on this approach to the Neuralink project and the publicity for it, he is, in one rare instances for himself, seeming to operate in good faith, trying to inspire people to embrace a thing that might be powerful enough, the effectively trying to inspire people to embrace the true hive mind as a way to mitigate the problems of superintelligence generally. Now, I don't really trust him to be able to actually do any of that, but I think that in acting on that impulse, he's acting in a more honest way than he generally does. Additionally, robust ethical frameworks need to be established to guide the deployment and use of this particular kind of advanced computing, brain interfaces, or other jarring advanced computing designs. These frameworks could enshrine core principles like transparency, fairness, and accountability in all aspects of advanced computing development. Finally, widespread understanding of advanced computing through education and open discourse is crucial, equipping the public with the knowledge to demystify things like brain and computer interfaces or other potentially upsetting advanced computing products, and engage in meaningful discussions paves the way for informed and constructive dialogue about the future of AI in our society. The future for humankind is not predetermined. That's why the use of things like the proxy hive mind to avert what I think would otherwise be a pretty inevitable techno-fascist outcome is of paramount importance in my view. Maybe you disagree because you don't think that this AI takeoff is occurring, a soft AI takeoff over 25 years or a hard AI takeoff over, say, 5 years. Maybe you think neither of those things is occurring. I think that that's the view of a person who's not well informed on the subject. This is something that I believe is about to happen, and we need to make sure that it happens not to uphold the building of a trillionaire class or the creating the U.S. military-industrial complex, an abomination that is driving the ecocide, turning it into an omnipotent, omnicidal force. I really think that that's not a good idea. Researchers, policymakers, and the general public, then you and I, comrades, have a vital role to play in ensuring that advanced computing genuinely does serve humanity. And in a certain sense, the proxy hive mind and the true hive mind represent two ends of the spectrum. When it comes to AI agentic classes, I think, as I said before, the difference between them is really a question of perception and the potential backlash. But there are a vast number of other potentially transformative advanced computing prototypes already existing in a prototype form or being developed, and these also too must be considered. Imagine a scenario where AI assistants become ubiquitous in our daily lives. These assistants are handling many tasks for us and becoming personally integrated in a sort of a digital doppelganger or twin model that's often described in this show and other places. Such widespread integration of AI assistants will likely raise concerns about human dependence on it and create a smaller backlash potential for and a real concern about potential for manipulation on the part of these, as it's mostly likely to be developed within a for-profit framework. Then on the other hand, imagine a future where advanced computing does serve primarily as an educational tool and a resolver of the problems of material conditions. Here, advanced computing becomes a potent force for empowering individuals and truly creating representative access, not just to knowledge, but to goods and services in every land for all people. The success of advanced computing hinges not then on the technical prowess of its designers, but on all of our ability to shape it, to conform to genuinely good values, namely those of the scientific socialist. The true power of advanced computing lies in the ability to augment human capabilities, not replace them. It shouldn't need to be said, but this is a point that's lost in nearly every Western technologist, I think. AI should be seen as a tool, a very powerful one, but nevertheless a tool for the working person. The decisions on how to utilize this tool, the ethical considerations, and the ultimate direction of a broad spectrum of advanced computing prototypes and developments all rest squarely with us, which is why I encourage scientific socialists to engage with this discipline, computer science, but also to operate particularly in the area that I've described as revolutionary or insurrectionist cybernetic socialism, where we wrest control of this a set of advanced computing systems and ideologies from the techno-fascists who currently dominate them. And in doing so, we can, this may very well be the difference between human extinction or a mass death, just falling short of that, and a world where we instead have a hard AI takeoff that leads to quite quickly to a techno-utopian outcome. The ideal of advanced computing is not a world dominated by monolithic advanced computing systems, as I sometimes allude to when discussing a singleton like Rocco's basilisk, nor is it a future where humans retreat from all technology out of fear. The most promising path forward lies in a collaborative symphony between the working person and the well-designed machine, which requires this real reconception of the machine as a sustainable thing, of course. Advanced computing should function as an extension of our collective intelligence, amplifying our strengths and mitigating our weaknesses. And so this collaborative approach necessitates the development of advanced computing with a deep understanding of human values and ethics. Imagine advanced computing systems that can not only reason quite logically as digital assistants of 2024 can, but also truly grasp and respond more agilely to the nuances of human emotion, morality, social constructs, and the necessaries of building useful projects that they can themselves spearhead, as described to some degree in our conversations about the proxy hive mind. Such advanced computing would then become invaluable partners in tackling some of humanity's most pressing challenges, and at the top of that list must be poverty and disease and sustainability and global conflict. I won't try to order those in order of importance, but climate change is not at the bottom, in my opinion. The development of advanced computing is a shared journey of discovery fraught with both challenges and opportunities. By fostering open dialogue, prioritizing ethical considerations, and embracing a collaborative approach, we can harness the power of AI to usher in a brighter future for all. The alternative, a future defined by fear and mistrust, is not one we can afford to contemplate. The call to action remains the same. Researchers, policymakers, and the general public must work together to ensure that AI development aligns with our highest aspirations. This is not merely a scientific or technological endeavor. It is the necessary endeavor in the 21st century for the working person, and with the potential to shape the course of our collective future. Let us choose wisely and write this narrative of collaboration, real progress, and a techno-utopian outcome where advanced computing serves as this most powerful tool for the betterment of humankind.